Hi, Brandon. Thanks for joining in. And hi, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast of CommerceShop. Here we talk about commerce, technology trends, and growth opportunities. And we are joined by an industry transformation leader like advisor. He has a strong experience in AI-driven commerce, supply chain modernization, and enterprise retail transformation. um, Brandon, and he has worked with Kendall and lot of AI-powered initiatives, and he has contributed to a lot of retail cloud alliances and rethink retail communities. We are happy to have you, Brandon. Let's talk about
Appreciate it.
today's topic on how agentic AI can help commerce and industry leaders to transform the business. Brandon, thanks
Absolutely.
for having you here.
It's an honor to be here, Sathish, and glad some folks can make it on a busy Friday. It's been a really active week for a lot of folks, and the spring is here, and lots of hope and opportunities. So, looking forward to diving into this topic. It's evolving by the day, by the week. So, ready to share my perspectives for sure.
Thank you. So, Brian, I see that you have a lot of experience on the industries. So, I think retail as a whole has transformed a lot, and they've adopted so many initiatives. Why does agentic AI is so different, and what kind of impact it will have in the industry right now?
Yeah, I've always believed and been a big proponent that retail is a blend of the arts and sciences, and for it to
Hmm.
veer too far into the sciences and lose the art is it's not good for the business and not good for the customer experience. So, analytics has always been a core part of the retail operating model, and we've gone from uh, analytics and data, big data, to
Hmm.
predictive AI, and then Gen AI, and then the last year or so, I think 2025's NRF, there was a big announcement by NVIDIA and Walmart about agentic AI, and then all of a sudden the world shuddered. What do we do now? How do we change our operating models? How do we change our strategies? So let's like level set what AI is, traditional AI is versus agentic AI. So traditional AI is more about being predictive, demand on demand. It provides
Hmm.
recommended next best actions. It requires human intervention to execute. Now, agentic AI is all about business outcomes and driving value and aligning with the North Star goals of retailers and commerce companies, where you can actually put it to very purposeful actions around continuously monitoring signals, looking for triggers and opportunities. It makes contextual decisions autonomously. It coordinates across systems and functions, which wasn't capable of doing a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
Also, it does a lot of autonomous actions, but you have to set those guardrails, set those expectations, and ensure it's actually driving and healing, continuously improving and optimizing. We're still in the very early stages here, but there've been a lot of companies that have really started to come to the forefront. So, from a retail and e-commerce perspective, it's all about the intelligent systems and all the data provide information and insights to be autonomous. And a couple of key areas what it does versus Gen AI or predictive analytics is one, it anticipates the needs, recognize the customer, personalize the experience. It predictively identifies where there's opportunities across the supply chain and merchandising. Two, it navigates and negotiates, so it can scan multiple platforms, all the integrations. It can
Hmm.
compare prices across different retailers and competitors, and it can really bundle discounts and promotions to customers and actually serve as an assistant or agent for a merchant. And then three, it can execute transactions autonomously. It can really make those micro decisions or recommendations to ensure your inventory is optimized, your merchandising and assortment plannings where it needs to be across all your channels. And actually won't require as much human intervention. But I'll go back to my original premise that retail is a blend of the arts and sciences.
Yeah.
Agentic AI is an enabler. It's a
Mhm.
tool, but it's really there for to help drive better decision making and having humans in the loop navigating and driving the decisions ultimately.
Interesting. So I see that you listed out few use cases, but what would be the best, like major pain point that agentic AI will have a big impact if somebody is trying to opt for it?
Yeah, I think in my entire career, back in the days where I was a merchant and a planner, the biggest challenge was sourcing one version of truth and data, and having
Mhm.
that the data sources and an integrated solution that can actually drive better merchandising decisions and assortment planning decisions, and all the way down the retail value chain. And what I see now is like a seamless or holistic integration between all the systems, everything from sourcing, product development, and designing the product to the merchandising, to the assortment planning process, to the inventory management, open to buy, replenishment, and supply chain fulfillment, down to the store level. And it is the integration and the ability to execute and drive business outcomes is what I see the power of agentic AI, what it's really going to help solve and drive better business outcomes. Ultimately, it has to be driven to meeting the customer's needs and expectations and driving a better customer experience. At the same time, empowering the frontline workers to serve those customers who are just seamlessly navigating across channels, whether it's social commerce, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's in store. There has to be one consistent experience with the brands and across all these channels. So there isn't one thing that's going to solve, but what it will do is to help accelerate growth, help to reduce costs, help to optimize operations, make quicker decisions, and keep up the rapid pace of change, because there's macroeconomic headwinds. There's global challenges right now with the supply chain. Oil and gas will continue to go up. So
Mhm.
you need to provide the agility and the flexibility that retailers need to react and respond to really dynamic and changing economic climates and customer experiences.
Interesting. So, if you are saying that the operations is going to be efficient, uh, is that something that every retailers, manufacturer, they should think about changing their operational model or their operating system to adapt this AI, move away from the traditional workflow? Is that what you see everybody should do?
They should, but without compromising their business and their really their purpose as a brand and what they serve and really what they represent to the customers and the community. It should not replace that human in the loop. It should not replace that human engagement, the store associates interacting with customers, the ability to go to the store and touch and feel the product. But what it can do is to optimize the operations. It could help make things become more predictive, more and drive better solutions to make faster decisions, but also empower the customers to make quicker decisions and at the speed and agility they're able to. So I think there has to be a crawl, walk, run to any innovation, and agentic
Mhm.
AI is no exception. It's something that it's extremely powerful, but you want to make de-risk any the risk to your operations and the potential costs that come with it. So I always recommend to my clients and the executives I work with, take that crawl, walk, run approach. Find that pilot area. What's the biggest friction point you're experiencing, whether it's supply chain, reverse logistics, clienteling, personalization, whatever it may be, and let's co-solution where we can actually drive value, where we can unlock new areas of growth, where can we drive new revenue streams, and look at new ways to serve customers.
Mhm. Do you think the companies whom you're serving, like, are they open to do for a product, or they are open for services, or they hey, just do an audit, we'll see how they are reacting to that?
Yeah, it really takes a transformational mindset. I've
Yeah.
spoken about this, written about this in the past. At the organizations that always do well are, it's I hate to quote Amazon here, but it's always day one, meaning you always have to continue to drive new innovations, to anticipate the change before it happens, and
Mhm.
self disrupt your company before disruptions hit you, because they are coming right and left, and the competitors who are staying ahead of the rate of innovation and so leverage new technologies and capabilities such as agentic AI are rising up, and they will
Mhm.
take the customer share of the wallet. So to operate like it's 1999 or 2010 or 2020 for that matter is a risk for failure. I think you have to look at the situation is very dynamic. Retail fundamentally hasn't changed. It's about having the right product, the right place, the right time. But it's all those
Mhm.
execution steps in this really disrupted economy that agentic AI and other AI innovations can help drive better decision making at the rate of speed and flexibility that's required to compete in this environment.
Mhm. So, in your opinion, is agentic AI is for retail side, it has not made bigger impact, more towards
It has.
manufacturing?
I can list off some examples I've seen in
Mhm.
the industry. Uh, I won't quote Walmart and Amazon. They're definitely at the forefront of it, but I want to look at more from a fashion and luxury retail lens. I think the rate of innovation there is very impressive. If you look at what Louis Vuitton and Christian Dior has done with clienteling, they're now empowering store associates to leverage digital platforms and real-time autonomous styling and really look at the intelligence. So what they're doing now is able to reduce their overstock by 20% by really driving those core categories that are actually selling through AI-driven demand sensing with customers. And the conversion rates are going up. They're looking at by using clienteling tools, they can anticipate demand and they can actually drive better conversion rates, up to 15% better for store associates and better engagement. Now we have Louis Vuitton, using AI assistants that's now handling 60 to 70% of the routine inquiries that are coming from customers. But there are human advisors to handle the more complex challenges. That's one
Mhm.
example. And Burberry, another popular brand, is leveraging agentic AI and digital twin capabilities to look at the product lifecycle, look at the images, and seeing how they can actually drive and authenticate agents to help remove over $100 million of counterfeit listings in a single year. So it really leads to a lot of repeat customers, a lot of trust and confidence in the brand, a 10% lift in sales for Burberry. And there's really an increase in digital influence sales, even though 85%, depending on the retailer, luxury is probably 90% of the sales still happening at the storefront and brick and mortar stores. So if a customer had the ability to look online, see Burberry or Chanel or Louis Vuitton has the inventory available and has that ability, I can buy online, do my discovery online, and have the
Mhm.
experience I want, and then shop on my terms. I can go to the store on a Saturday. There's a lot more trust and confidence and 98% accuracy of the inventory exist, and there'll be a store associate to help drive that experience forward. There's many more examples. I think it's impressive to see the Louis Vuittons of the world and others really leveraging the power to drive personalized experiences.
So, in your opinion, these personalized experience, the AI assistant and the Gen AI capabilities, is what in form of agentic AI for retailers? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
in a
looking
way,
at?
yes. I think it's sort of the dawn of conversational commerce, true conversational commerce. I think conversational commerce has been around for a while with social commerce, but it
Mhm.
wasn't really like human language like experience. Now you're able to chat real time with an agent, or it used to be a bot. Now we call it agents that actually know and recognize you as a loyal customer to Gucci or Prada or Louis Vuitton and Tiffany's, and knows your tastes and preferences, can actually answer your questions dynamically, and about 99% of the time they can take care of your really simple inquiries and drive more personalized experiences. So they're leveraging the luxury and apparel and especially retail space is really leveraging the power of agentic AI and these
Mhm.
conversational commerce capabilities to a way that it's almost natural language. But again, it's
Mhm.
the arts and science. I'll keep hitting on that. And you don't want to veer too far into the sciences. You want to attract the luxury customer to the store, to the showroom, to the showcase store in New York City or whatever it may be, for that really deep experience in that relationship with the store associates. So it's definitely driving that what we call conversational commerce, which I think was it was coming up for a while, and now it's now emerging as a stronger capability.
Okay. So, when a retailer is thinking about investing on all these things, you might be already having a system. So, should we start as an AI co-pilot something for them, or should they do a complete transformation on their commerce by bringing in AI assistants? So
Hmm.
many things. What's your take on that?
I think
How
it.
should-
Yeah, the days Satish of doing those like large scale ERP transformations are I wouldn't say over, but they it's almost like a legacy mindset. You're going to spend 2 or 3 years and working on a large scale mass change of your systems and integrations and back end
Mhm.
OMS systems and merchandising systems and point of sale systems, supply chain systems. Retailers don't have the luxury of doing that anymore all the time to read and react and respond to all the macroeconomic headwinds, competitive pressures, supply chain disruptions that agentic AI, autonomous agents can actually sit on top of these integrations and help drive faster decision making and have that workflows across all your systems. So that fluid exchange of information from all your integrated systems and tech stacks. Every company has an OMS. Every company has a merchandising system. The challenge is in the cloud. Is it integrated already, or is it kind of spaghetti tech debt situation where you're not sure where your data sources are? So I always recommend taking a step back, looking at it from a data strategy and data governance perspective, and see what is the quality of your data. Is it clean? Is it integrated? Is it one version of truth? Because the old saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. If you're not feeding the LLMs and the agentic systems with the right data, it's real time in nature and accurate, then I think you should pause and then really get your data strategy in place first as the fundamental first step here. Once you achieve that, then what are the business outcomes you want to achieve? And that really requires a cross-functional executive workshop to identify, prioritize, and sequence those areas where the biggest pain points are being experienced. And we're seeing a lot of it in supply chain, store operations, building store of the future, looking at agentic workflows for personalized experiences, for optimizing your merchandising, your procurement cycles. There are so many core areas that you can help remove costs from and become more efficient and more autonomous, and at the same time provide deep intelligence to drive better and faster decision making.
Okay. So, if a retailer who is still using an on-prem database or application, still, if the data is not in cloud or not connected, is that AI implementation, do you think, will be very difficult for him since the data is not uh,
Mhm.
relatively available everywhere? So, what would
Yeah,
be your take on that?
that's a challenge for sure, and there's some risk associated with that. So you do need data stewards and change champions to who run the data, and the data is really a product that
Mhm.
if you don't have one source of the truth that you can have trust and confidence in, it's very difficult to really even think about Gen AI, Agentic AI, or these innovations. So fundamentally, you need to start with the grassroots and the foundation first. You can start with a limited subset of data and test out and pilot it, whether in a lab or a few stores. But you are introducing a pretty significant risk to the organization if you're going to roll out enterprise rollout with data that's not accurate, not timely, and not integrated and not governed. So you need a governance model or architecture, a lake architecture. I'm not a specialist in this area, but I know fundamentally these are required.
Mhm.
And I suffered for a decade when I was in retail, trying to pull all kinds of sources of data together and from Excel, from downloads and uploads and VLOOKUPs. So and here we are in 2026. There are still many organizations that operate
Yes.
in Excel.
Yes.
So it's not much different. I wasn't expecting this to see this. I thought it would be, but there are those who have fully integrated merchandising and assortment planning systems that have accurate sources of data in the cloud, real time availability, and now they can layer in agentic workflows to help drive more optimized and predictive decision making.
Mhm. Understood. And one area, since you talked about the commerce on the customer experience, do you think the traditional search, people coming to a site, searching in keyword, will be way obsolete, or will the AI assistant, conversational commerce, will be the future?
Yeah, I think as we're seeing in the clones of the world, the ChatGPTs, OpenAIs, the Geminis, the Copilots, and
Mm-hmm.
that is introducing a whole new complexity. Even though I think ChatGPT de-invested in their commerce capabilities because we know to run a true commerce retail operation, you need the backend infrastructure, you need an integrated supply chain, you need one source of the truth. It's extremely dynamic in nature, and if you're having a fluid conversation with an agent, there are many real time lookups across different platforms, different retailers and competitors to ensure that they have the product that meets the conversation you're having with the agent. Do they have it in the right place, the right time? There's so many touch points and complexities. What I do see happening in the short term is more conversational commerce like experiences of the luxury or especially retailers of the world, and the discovery process is going to change for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think the emerging areas I see is the mid level fashion for like the Gaps, the Banana Republics, the J Crews, the Aries, the American Eagles, and
Mm-hmm.
so on. Abercrombie and will become. The stores are definitely where the business is done, but I think the discovery and the conversational commerce and social commerce aspects of those brands with Gen Z and Gen Alpha emerging are becoming increasingly more important. So it'd be critical for the obviously the luxury brands, like I mentioned, are investing in the space, but the mid to upper level retailers need to invest as well.
Okay, I
Did I
see
break
that.
up there?
Slightly. Now I can hear you.
All
Okay,
right, sorry about that.
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, so the next would be like more on the customer buying journey. Like I see that in the past it used to be like Google is always going to be the number one people search, and they would be coming landing onto your site and product page, and they complete that experience. That journey has been changed now. Like I believe people are now searching more with ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity.
Hmm.
So, how do you think that the retailers have to change, or they need to open up for these platforms? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think the traditional operating model where Google has dominated for over 20 years is changing. So the search engine optimization, the whole SEO, the keyword search thing, elements were critical. And now you have emerging consumer segments like Gen Z and Gen Alpha that really are leveraging TikTok or Instagram for their search needs and engagement with brands. That if they have a bad experience there, it can actually have really detrimental impacts to that brand and customer experience. That Google isn't always a default search engine. That social media, the TikToks, Instagrams, and Snapchat is where a lot of engagement happens now, and definitely we're seeing a lot of customers across all generational segments are leveraging OpenAI or ChatGPT or Claude more frequently for their searches because it's conversational in nature, and it took more of a hunting and gathering mentality on Google to find your what you're looking for. There wasn't that dynamic conversational elements that we have today. So it's definitely changed the paradigm and how brands get recognized and how they can really leverage the power of all platforms to get the attention and time of customers. But it all comes back to ensuring you have trust and confidence in the brand, and the supply chain is really the key element, like
Okay.
always. If you don't have the inventory in the store, if you don't have it in the fulfillment center, if you can't say it with confidence, you really have a bad experience, whether you're in ChatGPT or Claude or Instagram and TikTok, and you're trying to drive a commerce related situation.
So, do you think there will be a chance that the browsers will not be required? Everything would be handled by AI agents. Do you think that
Uh,
would be a future?
yes and no. I think Google is not going to go away. I mean, they're
Okay.
literally every iPhone and Android device. They're embedded in every single platform. They're a force to be reckoned with. So they've adapted and evolved as well with their own Gemini. If you do
Mhm.
a search on Google, you get prompted, but Gemini gives you a response or AI response as well.
Mhm.
I think we're also at the stage where uh, ChatGPT or Claude are still in its infancy in the maturity cycle, and the LLMs are still uh, in a place where you have to really verify everything that comes out of it, and the content is. So you want to make sure that everything is governed, everything is secure, and then customers feel it's like a safe place to actually engage with. But there's also been some anti AI sentiment, especially the younger generations. I have two Gen Z kids, and they almost like they have AI fatigue. So they rather
Okay.
not use AI because oh, well, the consequences are if we use it, it's going to use hundreds of gallons of water per prompt, and I'm not okay with that. So there's an environmental sustainability element as well. So I don't think it will become an emerging force. Conversational commerce, like I mentioned earlier, is becoming a bigger element,
Mhm.
especially embedded with each brand page and also social channels. But I think we more than likely will see ChatGPT, Claude embedded within solutions, or it's more intuitive. Maybe it's the first place people start to search for things versus Google. But I think it's going to be a shift over time versus overnight because Google is just the preeminent search engine and it's everywhere.
So, and how about the other areas like the personalization? Is that the customer journey? Do you think AI agents can do it better with the traditional AI? I think right now companies are using traditional AI in many places, but
Right.
agentic AI, can it drive a better experience there?
It can. It all ties back to how close to human interaction it can be and how quickly and responsive it is. If it creates a friction filled experience that's frustrating, like finding the products you're looking for, if there's a lag or there's any understanding what you're requesting, it'll default to I want to speak to a human. I'd rather go to a store. This isn't working for me. Well, I think if they do it right, the art of discovery can really. I need a. You can actually ask. I need an outfit for an event. It's in the spring. It's in New York City. It's a rooftop. I need this, and then they come up with suggestions, recommendations for you, and then that can actually help incentivize you to go to the store, and it's a real great experience. It's that natural handoff between the conversational agent finding what you need for a particular event, and then going to the store and converting the product with the store associate and then buying it, and that's where I see opportunities and everything I think we're going to do in terms of like travel, hospitality. If you're planning a trip with your family, you now can leverage agents and you can actually come up with agendas by day versus like in the past, you had to look at different sites, different ways of cobbling things together. There's ways to actually, I think we'll all become prompt engineers in the future if we haven't already, and really leveraging how can we optimize the prompts to get the answers we need more effectively and efficiently to get what we need. And that's where I think the future is. I don't think, again, I'll go back to the point where humans will be replaced. And so people who don't leverage the power of AI, that will be replaced. I think it definitely represents a shift in the future.
So, apart from this commerce experience, where do you think Agentic AI will play a big role? Like in the retail operations, where do
Uh,
you see this a big role? Yeah.
yeah, I think I my background in supply chain as well. So I think the autonomous ability
Mm-hmm.
for agentic AI to optimize and to transform a supply chain to a repeatable, executable engine that can really be more predictive with demand signals go down to the store level to help
Mm-hmm.
trigger replenishment, to help trigger open the buy sequences, and also availability in the warehouses as well. So I think integration of the supply chain and making it optimized is critical. That's the biggest element for growth. So that's one element that could be anything that could be forecasted and could be it's repeatable. That could drive execution. I think that the store operations from a labor planning perspective can be automated in a sense and sequencing of tasks, but also driving the store of the future because the more IoT devices at the store level, the better that the store could be more effective and efficient in driving revenue and new sales, ensuring that it's fully stocked, that the price changes are done electronically through electronic shelf labels. They also can detect when items are low in stock and can auto replenish things. There's a lot of agentic things that can occur there as well, and
Mm-hmm.
the fleet management as well, the trucks, the planes, the planning and the sequencing around that, and also the whole merchandising assortment planning cycle. There, humans
Mm-hmm.
are a critical part of the loop. The merchants and the planners, that collaboration required there with product development and designers will not go away, but the access to data, access to insights, and access to and the queries they can do to drive better decision making will be a critical part of that operating model going forward.
So, do you think is there already not enough AI tools or like, for example, demand forecasting?
Right.
There is some traditional AI being currently used in some ways, right? Like how agentic AI is going to be way different than that. It's going to predict some systems. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to change. It's definitely a paradigm shift. I think the previous operating model was less predictive, less automated, require a lot of
Mm-hmm.
humans in the loop, a lot of actual forecasting and manual work. Now there could be a lot more autonomy and a lot more things could be done in a way that's repeatable and scalable and flexible. So I think demand forecasting is a critical area where agentic AI, as long as you set the guardrails and as well as expectations, I think it will become a critical element to change how quickly demand forecasting can be done.
Mm-hmm. Understand. And what do you see like if somebody is going to start using this kind of agentic AI in inventory planning and supply chain resilience? So, what kind of growth
Mhm.
you can see they could get? Like, will there be a 10% increase in overall ROI, or what do you see that?
Yeah, I think
What do you- Yeah.
that's where I think it has to align with the North Star goals of the company. If the
Mm-hmm.
company is looking for to reduce cost, what can we do from a cost perspective? But be honest and be realistic about the revenue increases and margin improvements. But I think it requires a lot of ROI modeling and cost modeling and looking at key areas. So I always recommended that companies pick a small segment of their assortment, whether it's apparel, whether it's specialty areas, and determine where we are today, what are the improvements we want to achieve, and then through the data science and ROI modeling, you can determine where the efficiencies that can be gained, and then where's that uplift in conversion rates, new revenue that can come in, and incremental margin that can be achieved. So I think it depends. Is the answer, Satish? I think you can see up to 10% in some categories, other categories maybe 5%. But the higher turning, higher propensity areas where there's a lot of conversion happening, it's critical you're in stock all the time, whether it's jeans at Abercrombie or American Eagle, or a diamond ring at Tiffany's. And there's different elements to it and different operating different ways to go to market. So I think it will range based on the categories you're looking at, the kind of retailer you're looking at, whether it's a luxury brand or a mid-level apparel company at small base. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of potential, but you need to be realistic, and it will take a pilot approach that's very collaborative with the retail executives to come up with the art that possible. For consultants to come in from the outside who don't know the business as well as the executives do, you might misstate things and not be realistic with your the growth opportunities. It has to be really a collaborative co-creation with the executives and to build those models together and really align with the company's North Star goals to ensure it's meeting the company's expectations.
Mm-hmm. Now, how about the warehouse automation? Do you think that is an area is part of agentic AI, you think, or is it something way different, like the warehouse automation, like robots making the packages and everything?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more robotics and automation at the warehouse level. There's a lot of things that are already trigger based and they have cameras and sensors already. So
Yeah.
a lot of investments have been made to automate the warehouse, reduce the human capital cost and operating costs, which is great. I think what agentic AI can bring to the table is more predictiveness, the ability to optimize your forecast even more, to bring in all the data and all the signals from the robots, from the cameras and sensors, to really
Mhm.
optimize the workflow. And the key is to keep the trucks running and get the products to the store and the customers and keep your commitments. Because if you don't meet your delivery commitments, that's a major friction point for customers. And I think Amazon's changed the game with their ability to provide those delivery windows, and they've always found a way to overachieve them. So they'll say it'll come in 3 days, it might come in 2 days, and you have a really happy customer. But in the back end, I don't want to underestimate how much work has been done for Amazon or any retailer to ensure these systems are interconnected and integrated and that can pull real time when the customer is prompting it to say how, and with confidence, how quickly they can get it to you. So I think that agentic AI can help accelerate that, improve the experience even more, especially for the companies who are not at the level at Amazon or Walmart
Mhm.
or Best Buy are. They're looking to achieve the same SLAs. And agentic AI help accelerate things without that heavy capital investment at the warehouses.
So, where do you think like there is a risk in implementing this agentic AI? Will there be? I know there should be a human in the loop in many cases,
Yes.
but where do you think the
Uh,
agentic AI would go
there are a
wrong?
couple. I mean, we talked about the quality of data is probably the biggest risk. The second, I think,
Mhm.
is hallucinations and being led down a path that you didn't expect. If you have to check the quality of the results that come out of it, and then ensuring that three, you have guardrails and you have cybersecurity and you have your associates are safe. Most importantly, customers' data is safe, whether it's credit card information or personal information. You know, we're seeing hacks and hijacks happening right and left by exposing more customer data through LLMs and customer. I mean, retailers need to have the security and
Mhm.
resiliency set up in a way that with the guardrails to give the customers confidence that I'm giving you my information in exchange for a great experience, but also I trust you
Mhm.
with it, and I have confidence that you'll keep my information protected. So I think you have to set those foundations, ensure that you don't have this operational risk or the risk of customer flight of leaving your brand because of a bad experience they've had and
Okay.
the information's been compromised. So that also has to be considered. I think there's that bright and shiny object that we see at NRF and also at Shop Talk and other events. Everyone feels the pressure to jump on the Agentic AI train, but there's so many fundamental and foundational things that need to be achieved before you even do that.
Hmm. Okay, I understand. And
Yeah.
in terms of the retail categories, do you believe which one has transformed with agentic AI? Is it more fashion, you think, or grocery, or electronics? Which one is going to
Yeah.
be transformed
I,
with
I,
agentic?
I think all the above. I think the more obvious ones, like I mentioned, like what Burberry and Chanel and Louis Vuitton are doing in terms of that front end client experience and very engaging and our discovery. But I wouldn't underestimate or understate what's going on in the grocery industry because the cost to serve are astronomical. The supply chain disruptions, the availability of product. So there's, and then they operate in a very low margin business. So the Kroger's, the Albertsons, the Walmarts of the world, always looking for ways to drive more efficiency, more optimized operations. Supply chains are integrated. Agentic AI is already interwoven within many of these operations already, and that's ensuring that the grocery stores are fully stocked. Because now a typical grocery store, if you go to Whole Foods for that matter, the one I shop in is actually half the customers are not customers; they're micro fulfillment associates who are fulfilling online orders, and you're having regular customers coming in. So the dynamics are very complex. So agentic AI can really help solve the in stock challenge and the time it takes to get to the store level. So improve forecasting capabilities, demand forecasting, in stock availability. I mean, agentic AI is certainly a critical element here. Electronics, the Best Buys of the world certainly are leveraging AI, agentic AI, whether it's front end with the customer in that discovery phase and having that conversational like experience. And the store associates need to be empowered as well. And one amazing, excellent thing they've done in the last couple of years is provide the visibility. Where is that product? You know, if I want to buy this MacBook Pro or Intel MacBook Pro, a new mouse, whatever it may be, I know what store has it available. You know, how many miles
Mhm.
is it from my house? If I have it to all these options are provided to the customer with confidence because all the
Mhm.
systems are fully integrated, and the supply chain is instrumental in all that experience becoming a really good journey for the customer. So yeah, I definitely see the grocery side is more on the back end, not very visible to the customer because it's not as personalized and customized or engaging as luxury or apparel experiences, but it's just as critical.
So you think luxury and like power electronics would be the right to see those changes?
I
Is
think
it
also grocery as well. I wouldn't. It's a big part of our economy, and yeah,
okay?
it's definitely an area where it's not as obvious. It's in the back end, and it's not very customer facing because it's a very hands on experience going to the store and buying your groceries for the week. But yeah, it's more obvious on the luxury side and more apparent. But the customer, again, I'll go back to the days when omnichannel was the biggest term we heard for 10 years. But from a customer perspective, they don't know what omnichannel means. They never
Mhm.
cared what it was. And then the same way they won't it's not relevant to them what agentic AI is. What they know is did they have a good experience or did they have a bad experience? And is this does the retailer or brand know who I am and can
Mhm.
anticipate my needs and keep me happy and satisfied to come back for more? So it's just
Mhm.
another industry term that we know as advisors and consultants and retailers and commerce brands. But again, it's about keeping all your strategies focused always in the customer journey and customer experience as the center of the universe. Everything we're talking about here is an enabler to drive a better journey for the customer and empower your store associates.
So, what metrics should a company should look at for agentic AI? Is it just on the revenue terms you think, or the other operational hours reduction? What metrics should they think about?
Yeah, I think
Will-
it's multifaceted. If you look at
Mhm.
revenue only, you're short sighted because it doesn't tie back to profitability. So EBITDA, gross margin is also critical. But from an inventory perspective, you want to look at your conversion rates, your in stock rate, your inventory turns. You want to look at also your pricing and promotional strategies. What is the profitability based on a price change? Are we doing it dynamically? What promotions are driving demand? So I think all those elements are critical, and ultimately it's about revenue growth and profitability but I think foundationally, where can we also drive cost savings and unlock value that will help brands and retailers reinvest that cost savings into more innovations and more things that will additional areas of opportunity that will drive growth and better experiences.
Okay. And do you think there's agentic AI, even AI as an overall, will there be an impact in the number of jobs in retail? Will that be a reduction, or will there be a new opportunity? Where do you see that? What do you see that?
It's a mixed bag. I think what we're seeing in the news cycle is AI has been instrumental in a lot of big tech layoffs,
Yeah.
and we're talking about significant numbers. Some are attributed to AI or agentic AI in these statements. I will argue that the human in the loop and the arts and sciences need the human to drive the strategies forward. I think it will change how we operate, how we function in the roles, and it will define different operating models. So if you haven't already adopted or learned how to leverage these new capabilities, I think you're at a disadvantage. Uh, yeah, I think every job is being re-examined and analyzed, and AI is certainly at the forefront of that. But what I see here is it enables greater decision making at a rapid rate, and then it provides more opportunities to be more strategic and prescriptive in how you operate. Where in the past you had to source data, do all this administrative grunt work to find the data insights you needed. Now it's almost available real time in ways it wasn't before. Yeah, but you're right, Satish. There is that risk of
Mhm.
redundancies and areas that are repeatable and can be automated. So potentially there could be areas that can be impacted, like forecasting, planning, and other areas where it may not need as many resources, which is unfortunate. So it requires some rebalancing and find new areas. But it also can lead to a lot more opportunities too, because if you embrace the sciences and opportunities and the insights that come out of agentic AI, and it will require new ways to go to market and new roles that didn't exist before.
Mhm. So, if some mid-sized company they are looking to implement agentic AI, should they identify an opportunity or should they start with an audit? Where do they start, in your opinion?
To start with that core principles and what they represent in the market, and then not take do a big bang approach to agentic AI, but take a very purpose led approach. What are the business outcomes we want to achieve? What are the KPIs we want to drive? Is it revenue growth? Is it EBITDA? Is it improvements? Is it cost savings? Is it better customer experiences? And really identify a pilot, because there is now you need to get board approval in many cases, and these mid-sized firms and executive approval, and unless you have a cost savings play or a play that will drive ROI in a measurable time frame, typically I've seen these AI conversations go to a halt. So the science part of it really requires an ROI cost savings conversation. These If we take this agent and optimize the supply chain, we should expect X results in 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years, and set those expectations to the board. And then the execution strategy has to take into account how the company operates. What's the culture? Who are the key sponsors? Who are the change agents in the company? How does it impact their roles going forward? What kind of training and organizational change management do you need to adopt
Okay.
agentic AI? And it's going to really transform how these companies go to market. So you're going to introduce so much operational risk that it really disrupts the company and causes a lot of chaos and churn. But you want to do it in a way that it flows organically. I think
Mhm.
we've seen a lot of retailers become more proponents of the science side, and then embracing data analytics a lot more than we have in the past, because it's and then having these at your disposal changes the game. But you need to do it in a way that it's consumable, and it also can meet the needs of the company and expectations of the board, so they fully align with it. Because one thing you want to do is make a blanket statement: we're leveraging AI, agentic AI, to drive better experiences. But how, when, and why, and then build that purpose around that.
So the purpose. So do you think the agentic AI, many AI pilot projects in organization are failing? Still in a very early stage, many things are. Is it because of data or the purpose is not there? What's your opinion?
I think we're still very early in the maturity curve. Retailers are inherently conservative in their approach to innovation, with the rare exceptions like the Louis Vuittons and the Chanels
Mhm.
and the Burberrys who have the means and the capital to make these investments. The Amazons, Walmarts, Best Buys, Targets. I think the mid-level retailers need to be a bit more strategic, a bit more prescriptive, and then I think they're waiting and seeing where the market's going. There's a saying where Walmart goes, the industry follows. So if Walmart shows that they can introduce agents, agentic AI that drive better customer experiences and optimize their empower their workforce, etc., others will jump on board as well. So it's kind of we're in a show me kind of scenario where we need to prove the model, we need to prove that it's effective, that the change we're introducing to retailers and commerce leaders is actually going to come up with measurable results, and
Mhm.
then it's very business outcome driven and purpose driven. Otherwise, just another flashy, innovative object that may not get adopted. So you have to consider the culture of the company, the propensity to change, and are they ready for the next wave of innovation? So there's the mixed bag. I think they retailers and brands and executives I work with realize they have to explore it, consider it, because their competitors are already doing it and the customers are expecting it, and
Mhm.
I think the expectations in general are as the adoption curve will only can continue to go up because that's where the competitors are going, the market's going, and when the customers speak, the market needs to listen. So the customers are expecting to engage with companies that know and anticipate their needs and personalize the experiences. You better keep up with that level and the relentless rate of change. Otherwise, you're behind the eight ball.
Mhm. Understood. So, in your opinion, like which company, which retail brand has done AI at least close to the best one in your opinion?
um, I would say Walmart at this point
Walmart.
because they've publicly stated it. They've actually executing it at scale today, both for the store associates and the supply chain, as well as the front end, the customer experience. So they've done an outstanding job in integrating it, I think, seamlessly within their operations. From a luxury perspective, Louis Vuitton, the actual brand, and also a lot of the Maisons or brands that report to them, the Tiffany's of the world, are doing a really good job of enhancing the
Mhm.
customer experience and personalizing the luxury journey. And I think we're seeing a lot of that also on the tech side with Best Buy and others. Amazon certainly is always leverage AI,
Mhm.
machine learning, and they've very public about their aspirations. So it also led to a workforce reduction too at Amazon. So there's that element to consider. But they're all about automation and efficiencies, and we have to remember that Amazon is a platform, a marketplace, not a retailer. So they operate quite differently. So for them, it's about speed, execution, and meeting expectations. So I think we'll see more and more retailers doing it, and then again, the not so public ones like the Ahold Delhaize's of the world, the Kroger's,
Mhm.
the Albertsons, are leveraging it in the back end and optimizing their supply chain and really empowering their merchandising teams and planning teams and to
Alright.
execute at scale they haven't been able to do before. So yeah, it's a mixed bag, but I think it's becoming more and more embedded within company cultures that they need to start leveraging it.
Mhm. And in your opinion, like what feature in AI is being that is kind of overhyped or not right one in your opinion? Any feature or any trend that is being overhyped for AI?
Yeah, I would go back to the supply chain because that's been one of the most critical elements. I think what we experienced in the last pandemic with COVID was the disruptions and the chaos it caused, and it not having the ability to read and react to situations and build contingency stock and ensuring that the shelves are filled now. And it's also a major risk for companies. So I think the supply chain is instrumental for growth, revenue growth, for profitability, and customer confidence. That if I were any company in the retail, commerce, or grocery space, that would be the number one opportunity area or challenge is to address, optimize your supply chain. Uh,
Mhm.
Whether you have a fully integrated supply chain or not, or wherever you are in your maturity curve, Agentic AI can help accelerate, help enhance, help improve your decision making, and operate the rate, speed, and flexibility you need to. So I would highly recommend supply chain inventory management because having product availability is everything, whether it's in social platforms or ChatGPT or in the store or in the e-commerce platforms. That's the number one area I would start with.
And any company that you see that they are doing AI very wrongly, you have seen, not to mention the name, but at least anything that is being not using AI correctly, in your opinion.
Um, yeah, I've seen cases where AI has been embedded without, I would say, having the right change adoption or the right sponsorship from the business teams that actually
Yeah.
own the processes. They didn't do the due diligence to ensure they were aligned from the start. They didn't own it, and then they're not embracing it, and they still don't have the confidence in it that it's actually helped them out. So that starting that relationship early on with the executives and the change sponsors and the advocates for it is critical because when their director or VP is engaged and aligned and has adopted it and sees the value of it, it will extend throughout the organization and it will help adopt and evolve the company to embrace the change that comes with it. So that's a critical change management, organizational change management element that needs to be instrumental in any innovation you bring into the forefront, Agentic AI included. So any transformation will fail unless you have the sponsorship, the co-creation, the collaboration needed to
Mhm.
drive that business case, to drive the value, to drive what the KPIs I want to hit, what's the revenue targets, what's the EBITDA improvements, gross margin improvements. So that's where I've seen it fail, and I've seen it fail time and time again, even before agentic AI became a thing. So it's so fundamental and so critical.
Mhm.
Because I think as humans, we resist change unless we fully understand the why and the purpose behind it and the how, and then the so what. Was it doing my role? Has it impact my team? And then how I operate. And those fundamental questions aren't answered. I've seen it
Mhm.
fail.
Understand. Again, we're very close to the completion of this podcast.
Yep.
So, one last question is like, what do you think would be the future of retail in next, 5 years? Prediction would be very tough, but in next 2 to 3 years, what will happen in retail, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think if you look at what we were saying 10 years ago, everything is going to be online.
Mhm.
E-commerce is going to dominate and everyone's going to order from their phone and not actually go to physical stores. So I think we've seen that those predictions haven't come true, that physical
Yeah.
retail is the preeminent destination, that people love to go to stores, touch and feel the product. 85% of all commerce either originates or ends in the physical stores. So, and then we're seeing Gen Z and Gen Alpha embrace the mall culture again, physically going to stores, engaging with store associates, hanging out, buying products, whatever it may be. What I do see happening is incrementally Chat GPT, Claude, etc., Gemini will become either embedded or the capabilities kind of become more seamlessly part of the experience, a part of the journey.
Mhm.
I don't see like robots walking around the store. It's to be a human element as always, and
Mhm.
there was more tools, more enablement, more opportunities for store associates and corporate workers to have more capabilities at their disposal, and and it
Mhm.
gives giving the retailers and brands the ability to keep up with the rate of change and disruptions from a supply chain perspective and pricing perspective. So I think we'll see gradual evolution of the commerce landscape where agentic AI or conversational commerce becomes a bit more prominent. I still
Mhm.
think I know the fact that physical store will continue to be a big part of the process, and online and e-commerce clearly will continue as well. But it'll be a shifting of the sands a little bit. But again, it comes down to the fact of having the right product at the right place, at the right time, and executing on your promises and commitments will remain. I do see the product development, merchandising, buying, procurement, sourcing cycle getting accelerated. I think we've seen what fast fashion people are doing
Mhm.
because they go within weeks instead of a year and a half. But I think it'll help accelerate things for the luxury brands and fashion brands that co-creation and that acceleration of getting the product to the market faster. But there, yeah,
Interesting.
definitely we should look at things more from a 6 month to a year perspective because we've seen things
Mhm.
change overnight. But it also depends on that kind of the macroeconomic and global disruptions that are occurring, which are happening too frequently.
Yeah. One last question I'm going to have just now is the agent e-commerce you talked about, Claude, and that's
Yeah,
part of the. So do you think will that agent e-commerce will eat up from the physical store percentage, or will be from part of e-commerce? Like, now e-commerce is 20% and physical store is 80%.
yeah.
So how does this agent e-commerce hits?
I think we're introducing too much complexity and we're overcomplicating what the experience is because from a customer perspective, they're engaging with a brand or product, so they're expecting that experience to be fairly consistent across whether it's conversational commerce related or it's searching on their website or app or going to the store. That they should ensure the customer experience is as fluid and consistent as possible. I think you'll see some rebalancing, but I don't anticipate conversational commerce to overtake e-commerce. If anything, it will come together at digital
Yeah,
commerce, unified commerce, and then conversational commerce is a capability that will be parted embedded within the
the
commerce
e-commerce.
experience. Whether you go into the native app, you go into the marketplace, you go into the social apps, and you go into the store. But I do see loyalty being a big part of that, whether it's points, whether it's engaging with the customer, co-creation, but knowing your customer will become critical across all these touch points that agentic AI can help drive a greater level of personalization. As long as the retailers and brands meet their brand promises and do the fundamentals correctly, they'll achieve their great results.
Interesting. All right, Brandon. I think that's it from my end. Thanks for your
Awesome.
time. I
My
hope
pleasure.
we shared good insights to our audience.
Yep.
We
Happy to
look forward.
answer any questions the audience has. If you want to reach me on LinkedIn, this is a hot topic. We could go on for another hour easily, right? So,
Yes, it is a very hot topic. Yes, and I think in another 6 months we might have the same conversation with lot many changes in the industry.
exactly. Yeah, it'd
Well,
be very
thank you,
interesting. Thank you. It
Brandon,
was a
and have a
pleasure.
great day.
Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.